Hello, friends. Today we are going to discuss something about political science. And this episode is specially for those students who want to crack competitive examination by taking political science as an optional subject. Well, it is also for those who are not students who have already passed their graduation or post graduation and now they are trying to get into administrative services or trying to become professors or lecturers in educational department. Well, for political science, there are many books to start with. I am talking about the academic uh, line of studying political science. For examination, normally students go to a coaching center or to a teacher who make them study political science in a way which is, in their opinion, beneficial for cracking an examination where political science is a subject. But that does not mean that they know political science. You can watch and you can see biodata, CVs of different teachers in different coaching centers. You will find that they are not fit to teach in any college or any university, most of them. But they are very successful teachers in coaching centers, and they are successful not because they can explain things but because their students crack the examination, and naturally the one who teaches them will take all the credit for the success of their students. Well, I am hereby talking to you as an experienced university professor of 37 years standing. I taught in a regional university, University of Rajasthan, for 38 years, MA classes, BA classes, and my specialization was in political thought, Western political thought primarily, and Gandhian thought. But in the 37 years, and later on also after my retirement, students do come to me for guidance. I have come to know that one of the problems for students is not to read the relevant books for the subject or for the portion of the syllabus. Normally, the coaching centers do not give them advice about what to read. They force them to read their notes only. Now, okay, that's fine for examination. But before you go for examination, I believe that a student or aspirants of for competitive exams, they should at least have a certain basic knowledge of the subject. Until unless you have a knowledge of subject, you cannot convert it into a skill to crack an examination. Many of the students who are taking political science as an optional paper, they come from such stream of learning which are not compatible with political science. Like for instance, for engineering students are coming, even medical students are coming, commerce students are coming, science students are coming. They have never studied political science as a subject, but they think that they can, when they can mug up engineering subject or medical subject, why can't they mug up political science? What is there? So they start mugging up notes primarily, or two three books, and by that they think that, and sometimes they crack the examination also. But I think that for any serious student, there are some serious books which are necessary to study to understand political science as a subject. If you have 1 year before you crack the exam, If you're 1 year before you write, 2 years before you write your examination, then you must read these books, which I am going to tell you some of them today, so that you can just have a comprehension of what is this political science subject. Let us begin with the fundamental book, which I always refer. The book by there are two books, they are almost similar. Book by Appa Durai, The Substance of Politics. The book was published in 1952 or 51, and it is still going on very strong. 27th, more than editions have already come out. Why this book is fundamental? I believe that the one who doesn't know any ABC of politics, who has never studied political science, if he wants to start reading political science, then this is the book he should begin with. A. Appa Durai, The Substance of Politics. Why? There are 2-3 reasons. The first reason is that this book till gives a knowledge of about political science of 2000 years till 1950, not after that, but the major portion of political science has already developed. All the concepts have come into existence by which we study politics as a process: liberty, equality, state, sovereignty, justice, citizenship. All these concepts are in vogue from Greek city-states to 1950s. So you, by reading this book, you will have a very historical explanation of different concepts. You will know about the first concept of politics after defining what is politics. The first concept is the state, the origin of the state, the characteristic of the state, the objective of the state, the types of states. All these things one must know before go further. Then we should know what is the exclusive characteristic of a state, that is sovereignty. So then you study sovereignty. Then a state is where citizens are. So what is citizenship? Then what are the rights of citizens? What is the relationship between citizen and the state? The relationship is defined by justice, by giving proper protection, by giving proper liberty to the citizens to express their views. Then state is concretized in the form of government. So what is a government? How government runs? What is a constitution? What are the 3 organs of the government, or organs of the state rather? Legislature, executive and judiciary. Then public opinion, then political parties, then ideologies: democracy, fascism, liberalism, conservatism. So many ideologies are there. Then the approaches to study politics, how we study politics. In ancient times, we studied politics through ideas and ideologies and philosophy. Then come institutions, and then we start studying the political behavior, actual political behavior. So it's a long history of studying politics, more than 2000 years history. And by reading that book, Appa Durai, you will have a glimpse of what is happening in political science. The book is written in a very lucid language, very easy to comprehend, not using technical terminology, not providing you big sentences and complex sentences, but very simple, straightforward sentences, small sentences, to make you understand what is politics. So that is the first book one should read. Then political science has 4 major branches, in my opinion. First is what we call political thought, ideas, theory, philosophy, concepts, approaches, ideologies. All these come under the umbrella of political theory or political thought, whatever you can call it. So that is the first major branch. Second major branch is comparative politics, comparison of of politics of different countries or nations. Primarily, their governing style, whether they are democracy or dictator, whether there is a constitution, how many types of constitution are there, what type of system they are operating, federal or unitary. The democratic system is parliamentary or presidential. What is the theory of representation in parliament or in senate? Public opinion, voting pattern, elections, all these which constitute actual politics in any country. And this particular subset of political science is to compare different types of these political phenomena by using examples from major countries like US, USSR, France, China, South Africa, India, and others. So that is the second part of. For this, you require, I think, the basic text is by C.B. Gaina, Chaturvej Gaina. In English also it is available, Comparative Politics. That is to start and begin with this. Then then you can have a comparative study of constitutions, because that is very necessary. Without knowing constitutions of the major countries, you cannot compare the politics of theirs. So for comparing constitution, you have E.D. Mahajan or any other country, any other author, which gives you a comparative study of constitutions, and then operational of constitution, which means study of political parties, public opinion, elections, and other things. The third part is international politics. International politics, as we know, is basically a growing discipline started after First World War as a separate branch of political science. And then after Second World War, it emerged as an independent, gradually emerged into an independent subject. Nowadays, even we have departments of international relations or international politics. We have departments of South Asia, different groups of countries in the different universities. So international politics is basically a study of relationship of different countries. That include many things. It is not so simple. That includes what is diplomacy, that includes foreign policies, that includes institutions which are international institutions like UNO and its agencies. There are many groups of countries. They have formed the groups because of for their political security or for economic financial development, like ASEAN, like NATO, like SARC, like AAU, Arab League. So these are groups of countries which are formed on the basis of the common interest. Their common interest may be military, political, economic, or whatever. For this, you require to read a fundamental text first. You should know, you should have a, I believe you should have a book first which explain different countries, any dictionary or encyclopedia of countries, or even globe. Because when you study international politics, first of all, you should know locations of country, their geography, their history, their political system. Once you come to know about the major countries, basically, then you study history of world. You start with history. So history of world or history of Europe or history of whatever it is, after Second World War primarily. Because before Second World War, the countries were different. After World War, we have a continuity of certain kind. And after 1991, with the demise of the Soviet Union, we have a break in that continuity, and then we start afresh after 1991. But it's still from 1945 onwards, we can say that it's a almost a similar type of history of different countries. So you should know about the historical evolution of different countries, their relationship, before we go into the theoretical part. The theoretical part includes theories how to study this international politics, the liberal theory or English theory or constructivist theory or whatever it is. So these are two different things, theoretical part and the practical evolution of countries. So the evolution of countries, you can start with Andrew Haywood. You're going to start with Andrew Haywood, any book, Global Politics or something like that. And for theoretical, you have some other books also. You can read any theories of international relations or theories of international politics. By this name, you can find some books. The fourth aspect of political science subject is the study of the country. If you are in America, then you will study USA. If you are in US, if you are in Russia, then you will read study of Russia. Because you are in India, so the fourth aspect is Indian constitution, Indian state machinery, and what is politics in India. So we start with the national movement, how the Constituent Assembly was formed, how the Constitution was formed, then democracy, its features, then so many elections we already have, Lok Sabha elections, state elections, dynamics of elections and political parties, pressure groups, election studies, state and center relationship, federal system, rights of individuals, constitutional provisions to protect individual rights, regional problems Indian democracy is facing, caste problem, religion problem, language problem, and there are so many problems. So this is the fourth one. About this, there are, I think, two part of it. One is constitution part. So constitution, you should have a copy of the constitution, latest copy of the constitution, and also a book like I recommend D.D. Basu, Introduction to Indian Constitution. Every year the new edition comes. So that is the most simplistic introduction to the Indian Constitution that you can have. And then the practical aspect. Practical aspect, there is no single book comprehending everything, but there are many books concentrating on different aspects of practical politics. So that you can consult. So this is the four segments of political science, and you should start studying political science with a comprehensive look of what political science is, which means you should get yourself familiarized with concepts by which you will study political science, approaches, evolution of political science as a subject, and what are the characteristics and nature of political science. So friends, today I just gave you an introductory lecture for those, especially those who are preparing for competitive exams, or those who are studying, or those who are new lecturers. Just start studying political science. Okay, thank you.